Hi, and welcome to my journey, my immunotherapy journey, I've called it. The reason I decided I'd try and do this was because when I was diagnosed, I'll give you a little bit of that in a minute, there was lots of information about immunotherapy on the internet, and there were a couple of stories on some cancer websites that were quite helpful. But I just didn't seem to think there was enough. And I thought if I did something, it would help me and it will help, hopefully, other people who are going through the same journey. Just a little bit about me. A year and a bit ago, we decided to have a brief interlude in our life in Spain. The interlude didn't last as long as we were planning, and we were thinking of coming back home at the end of last year. That's the end of 2021. And we'd made plans to come back and try and get settled back in the UK. It was only a short period in Spain. But we had some of my friends come out to see me, good friends, and between them and my partner, they all decided I was acting a bit strange. So the decision was made for me to come back earlier than me and my partner had originally booked. Only took in a week or so, on the condition that I went straight to Aintree A&E when we got off the plane in Liverpool. So I agreed. So I came back with one of the two good friends early, as we'd arranged, and went straight to the hospital, to A&E. Went through the symptoms with the A&E doctor, who was absolutely fabulous, did the triage and everything else. And I think there was some suspicion, certainly from my good friends, that they thought I might have had a mini stroke or something with the behaviour and things I was showing. I didn't think there was anything wrong with me, of course, other than that I just wanted to be home again. Anyway, the A&E doctor decided that he wanted to submit me to a full MRI body scan and to get me admitted. So that was to be arranged. My friend went home because obviously we'd all had a journey. They left me with some clothes, or her husband brought some clothes for me to change into while I was admitted, and we went from then. I waited a little bit for a bed, not too long, seeing it was a very, very busy evening, and eventually I was put up on a ward and monitored, and the plan was for me to wait to see the ward doctors and to wait for the availability of scanning machines. So by this time we were it was the end of October when all of this happened. End of October 2021. And my cancer journey started. I was on the ward for a day or two and they were fabulous. Everybody on the ward, this is at Aintree Hospital, Liverpool, treated me with respect, with care, with compassion. I have so much love and respect for all of them. I managed to be put in for a full CT scan a couple of days later. So off I trundled in a wheelchair, even though I did insist I could walk, but trundled in a wheelchair down to have a CT scan. So I think it was only the second time in my life I've had one of those. I think I had one a very, very long time ago when I was much, much younger. So I had the CT scan, and the idea was that I would be having an MRI scan. But unfortunately, there'd been a bit of a hiccup with the machine. But it turned out that some good electrician, some MRI machine electrician, worked through the night, obviously for the benefit of all the patients in the hospital, to get the MRI machine back up and running. And the next day, I was taken down for my MRI scan. The procedure with these things, which you'll probably know, is that then the specialists have to look at the results of the scan and do reports. It's not just to put you in the machine and there's your results. They have to be looked at, analysed, interpreted for the various clinical doctors. So that was done. In the meantime, we had a dog and 3 cats over with us that needed to come back home. We had nowhere to live, technically, so the plan was that I would be staying with my father and my 89-year-old father intruding on his privacy and everything else, and my partner would be finding where he could for the time being until we could find something a bit more permanent. That was the original plan. The temporary plan, let's put it that way. Anyway, so that was how the journey all started. Still didn't know what was going on, just that they knew something was going on. So at this point, I'm waiting for the results of the scans and the doctors to come and see me, the relevant teams, whoever it would be, to come and see me to see what the problem was. I hadn't shown any symptoms. My friends and my partner thought I was walking a bit slowly. I had trouble eating. I couldn't eat a lot of food. And with friends and family coming out and seeing us where we were temporarily staying and going out for meals and things, if I couldn't eat my meal, it was getting a bit awkward, should we say, to say the least. Don't know what other signs I was showing. They probably had lots of signs I was showing. I think they thought I'd lost some weight, which if I had, that was great, but I didn't particularly think I had. I hadn't noticed any clothes were being particularly loose. But even when they did come to me with the results of the scans, they were quite surprised that the symptoms that they thought I should be having, I hadn't actually had. Anyway, that's enough of that for now. I'll do another one shortly. Goodbye for now.